Good morning, T, and good morning, everyone else. Although I say good morning, it's not the best morning. I'm up late, and I've got a bit of a headache. It's in the back, so it's in the muscular systems of my neck, which is rough. I feel tired, and more than just like feeling tired, I mean I feel tired. I feel wary, and that's weird. But because my last couple days haven't been the most productive, but essentially I'm watching what's been going on, and what's been going on is this. I've bit off more than I can chew, and now as I attempt to do more than I can, at least in ways, at least given my current organizational schemas, everything falls into chaos. My room around me is becoming more chaotic. You can see that my books are no longer neatly piled in their places. I've missed editing the last couple of daily brews. So I did the last 2 days, which I have missed the uploads on. I did go and I recorded those daily brews, and they're short because basically what I said was something along the lines of, I'm here for the daily brew. I have to do this because this is part of the schedule. But basically I have something else that I really need to do today because everything is piling up and I feel overwhelmed. And also complaining about how little sleep I'd been getting because I got way too little sleep this past week. So in many layers, what I'm going to do today and throughout all of today, as well as just in the daily brew itself, is to evaluate. And I was doing this on Sunday before, but I'm going to do it now as well. I'm also going to use this opportunity to use this time to take this multivitamin pack. And I think as I wake up, I'll just mention what's in this multivitamin pack, because some people commented on the amount of multis that I'm taking, and I understand that there are risks inherent, but I want to show you and tell you what I'm taking. This is the listing of all the things, all the supplement facts that are on here. Obviously, super tiny stuff. Most of what's in here isn't actually specific vitamins and minerals and stuff, which are the things that get overloaded. A lot of it is more interesting in like juice powders and things, and I find that stuff to be quite cool. So there's a vision support capsule, which has some European bilberry fruit, carrot root juice, turmeric root, taurine, lutein, and zeaxanthin, all extracted from various flowers and stuff, and some beta-carotene, vitamin A, and that's what one of the capsules is. There's a B complex, which is a bunch of B vitamins, and some choline, and some biotin, and that's what it is. It's a B complex of all the different little B vitamins, and there's a full capsule that's made for that. There's a C complex that is specifically vitamin C, and then bioflavonoids and other things taken from citrus membranes and rose hips and other fruits and stuff. Totally reasonable. There's a vitamin E complex, which is one of the it's the little golden one, that one. Because it's got the D alpha, beta, gamma, and tocopherol and delta tocopherols in it. It's just vitamin E, as you would expect. There's an amino acid complex, which is just all of the BCAAs and other amino acids, which is nice, and it gives you a little bit of all of the essential ones, which is cool to have. I think I eat enough meats and general meat products, and animal fats, and also like legumes and rice and other things that I get a full spectrum of aminos, but I'm not going to mind having a little bit more amino acids. The green capsule is it's super greens blend, so it's alfalfa grass, wheat grass, barley grass, oat grass, matcha green tea, nopal cactus leaf, spirulina algae, chlorella algae, kale leaf, most of which are either powdered or dehydrated, and then dehydrated. Are juiced or just powdered. So they some of them they'll juice them and then they'll dry out the juice so that you get just what's left over as powder. And some of them they'll powder the actual leaf itself, and that's what's in there. So it's a mix of greens. I think that I don't need enough greens. I try really hard to eat more cruciferous vegetables and greens and stuff, and I just don't think that I can. So having something that at least a little bit supplements them is probably good. But might be wrong. I could be wrong. I don't know. There's a ginseng energy blend, which has some bee pollen with royal jelly and a bunch of different ginseng roots in it. Red Panax, Korean, American ginsengs, as well as a couple of other roots and some piperine, which helps the ginseng get... Oh, shit, I forget. It's black pepper extract, and it helps the ginseng get inside of you, which is quite helpful. There's one that is organic flaxseed oil, which is cold-pressed flaxseed oil that provides ALA, which is omega-3, omega-6, omega-9, and other fatty acids, which is quite useful. I also, separately, I take a krill oil capsule because I want that fish stuff. I think fish oil, and from what I've read, fish oil and krill oil are basically interchangeable in most cases, and you really want those omega fatty acids for your general well-being, especially for your brain health. And that's one of the things that I'm most interested in is brain health, because it's the part of me that I care about the most, I think. And then there are two of trace minerals that are grabbed from sea trace minerals, which as far as I can tell it's just the mineral complex. So there's the B complex, the C complex, some basic vitamins from some different plants and things, some oils and fatty acids, and then a base mineral complex with pretty low dosages all over of individually of vitamin D3, calcium, iodine, magnesium, zinc, selenium, copper, manganese, chromium, potassium. I mean, they're high enough doses that they matter, but they're not like 10,000% doses. So what I want to be clear about is I mentioned that you can see it in your urine. When you take a bunch of vitamins, you can see it in your urine. I don't mean that my urine is dark in any way. I stay very hydrated. I'm very focused on being hydrated all the time. My urine is not dark. In fact, I would call it bright, actually. It goes from being like clear to being pretty bright as whatever is excess gets pumped out. Now, I recognize that there can be problems with your kidneys or with your liver as it's filtering all these materials, but I did just get my doctor's results back and they're great on everything, so I'm doing okay. In fact, my doctor's results are excellent, and a step beyond excellent to exceptional is what I got back for all of my blood work and blood panels and urinalysis. It came back exceptional, and I did all my multivitamins and all my stuff in the morning before I went to the doctor. So this isn't to say that this is the thing that works for everybody, or that it would work for everybody, or that it's even helping necessarily, but I can guarantee that it's helping beyond a placebo, because I've tried multiple different multivitamin capsule batches and groups, and this one is consistent and simple, and it doesn't fuck with me. So it seems like a pretty simple, low cost comparatively investment into my overall well-being, and that's why I take them. I'm going to go for a weird tea, not a green tea today. I'm going to change it up a little bit because I've been on the good green tea for a few days, and sometimes that gets to be a little much. So I'm going to do smells like nothing. Wonderful. Awful. This is Pu'er. It's a black tea from China. When they make them properly, they ferment the black tea effectively. I think this is probably not effectively fermented. It's probably just mashed down and allowed to oxidize via a chemical process or something similar. Of course, actually fermenting it makes much better tea, so whatever. I like a good pu'er. This is not a good pu'er, so I'm doing some of that with some milk Jinjuan oolong, and we'll see if it's even palatable. I'll try it. I also have to turn up the temp there because it's not at a high enough temperature for the black tea. So anyway, these are my vitamins. I woke up the last couple of days, and you can see that I'm, as we're going, I can feel it in myself. My caffeine is kicking in, and my ability to be awake is kicking in, and that's it's quite nice. It's quite nice to have the caffeine kicking in. I won't mince words about that one bit. It's truly lovely to become awake. But these last couple of days, I've fucked some things up, and most of them have to do with my bedtime and with my lack of effective scheduling and routinization and habitualization. So, back to Atomic Habits we go. That's the thing that we're doing here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull open the last gray section, because it's got this thing, which is just a full outline of all the primary concepts in the whole book. So here, let's just do this. I'm just going to give you everything that's in Atomic Habits for free. Sorry, James Clear, I'm giving away all your good stuff. He doesn't care. Okay, so there are two sections broadly within the book as a whole thing. And they are how to create a good habit and how to break a bad habit. As you would expect, if you have goals, then you can align all of your good habits in order to get you closer to those goals, and you can remove all the habits that get you further away from those goals, or don't do anything, or are just untouched chaotic space. And then you can line up your whole life as though it were built to achieve a goal. For example, you have to imagine that the great athletes have coaches and systems around them that make every single thing that they do throughout their day as idealized as possible to get them closer to the goal of performing effectively and most effectively at their sport. The CrossFit lads and lasses live their entire lives centered around the one goal of like the CrossFit Games or whatever. Same with Olympic athletes of all different varieties. Same with anybody who's really competing at something. Same with the great chess masters. They focus everything in their lives around the goal of becoming the best at the thing, and they build a bunch of habits to do so. And the ones that I think build the habits to do so most effectively are the ones who something like utilize their own possibility to the greatest degree. Because it's not necessarily that you'll be the best, because you might not have the biological capacity to be the best. There might be some asshole genius who's just better than you anyway. But if there are two asshole geniuses that are as good as they could possibly be, Magnus Carlsen and somebody else, right? Asshole geniuses who are as good as they could possibly be at chess. Magnus Carlsen and the Michael Phelps of chess, whatever. Then the one that has habits that lead them to train most effectively is going to always, always be miles ahead of the other one because they've used more time, right? They've used more time more effectively to learn more effectively. So, good habits and bad habits. The first law of how to create a good habit is to make it obvious. First point under that law is to fill out the habits scorecard to write down your current habits in order to become aware of them. That's tough to do, and I don't want to do it right now, but good, yes. Figure out what you do first. Just doing that is huge. Because so much of our lives, I feel like we live on autopilot, where we're just sort of going around doing the things that we've been doing for a couple of years. You know, you get up, you take a piss, you brush your teeth, whatever you do, you know. However, how you check your phone, you go on Instagram, you're gone. Your life is over. Your day is shot. I keep experiencing that because, man, the temptation to pull up social media early in the morning is so utterly brutal and so deeply severe, and it really ruins the rest of my ability to think for the entire fucking day. It really does. It's so damned hard to get a book and to try to read the book, just a few lines of a book early in the morning, but it changes the way that I think completely. Completely. It's crazy. But anyway, write down your habits to become aware of them. Great. 1.2, use implementation intentions. I will behavior at time in location. So I did this in my Discord yesterday or the other day. I said I'm making a promise, and this is something else that's really helpful, is to make yourself accountable to other people. It can be quite helpful for reinforcement. But anyway, I made a promise to my Discord, which is that within a month, so by the 10th of December, I will switch away from expensive meal prep in order to do my own meal prep. I'll just go and I'll price out, and I'm in the research stage, so I'm figuring out what kinds of meals that I want to make. I think I want to make like a crustless chicken pot pie, so like a creamy sauce around a bunch of veg and a good quantity of chicken, and just make like 7 meals of those packaged away with either some mashed potatoes or some mashed cauliflower or something as a starch or a filler. Cool. And then like a taco bowl sort of thing as well. Like a beef and bison, probably, like mix a couple of good meats, beef and bison, maybe some spices, a tomato-based sauce, and like a saucy taco meat feel with some cheese on top. Done. And then do 7 of those. So then I'd have 14 meals for the week, half of them chicken, half of them beef, and they're both totally acceptable meals for me. And then if I want, I can get some nice tortillas or something and use those as burrito or taco filling holder things for the beef things, or something like that. I don't know, but something simple where I can just batch cook 2 meals on one day a week, and then when I do it, I'm probably going to film it so that I show it to you, because I have a habit on the channel of showing off like where I'm at in terms of my food progression, and this would be another stage in my food progression, and that would be really interesting and important. We'll see how it goes. It might ruin me. It might not work at all. And I might find out that if it's like 60 or 70% as expensive all over when I include labor time, because labor time matters, and sacrificing your time to cook may not be what I want to do. I may want that time for other things. So I'll do it, and I'll do it for at least a month, and then I'll judge whether it's worthwhile to pay for the service that makes it so easy, or whether it's worthwhile to pay to pay in terms of labor and effort and stuff for doing it myself, and we'll find out. But anyway, this is exactly what I did. It was by the 10th, I will do this thing every week. So I will behavior at time and location. Every Monday, every Wednesday, every Friday, I go to the gym. I go. I will squat at the gym every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And then use habit stacking. After current habit, I will new habit. And I went and I did this for my whole morning, and my morning has been immaculate. Since I did this, my morning has been perfect. Every morning since I did this, I've gotten up and I've done it. Now, the time that I wake up has been all over the place, but once I've woken up and I do the first thing on the list, everything else falls into place immediately. When I wake, I will drink water. I will not look at my phone. When I drink water, I will take my initial set of substances, my SSRI, my Nuapept, my NAD+. After I drink water, I'll pick up my toothbrush and toothpaste, and go to the bathroom. After I go to the bathroom, I'll brush my teeth. After I brush my teeth, I'll blah, blah, blah. I will go downstairs and make electrolytes. Then I will go outside. I will stand on the grass. I will stare at the sky. I will rehydrate, and I will simply stretch. I've done this every day. Every single day, weekends included. Then I'll go and I'll wash my cup, and then I'll make a protein shake. And then I'll take my protein shake, and I will get my vitamins, my nootropics, my creatine, and a book. Now, that part I haven't been doing because it's not actually correct. To go back outside with a book isn't quite it. But I'll go outside with all of those things, and I will read for at least 10 minutes. I will drink my protein shake and take my pills, and then I'll wash my cup, and I'll go take a shower. And then I'll go take out my computer. So there are some things in the end there that fall apart because I don't actually want to take a shower every single day. I want to take a shower. I actually take 2 showers every other day. Weird, I know. But the reason for it is this. The reason for it is this. The only time that I leave the house is to go to the gym, generally. And I like to be relatively clean when I go to the gym because it feels correct. And I don't want to walk into the gym smelling and stinking and feeling shite. Partly because there are people there and I'd like to interface with them. And some of them I find attractive, and I don't want to be a stinky, sweaty, smelly mess. So I shower in the morning before I go to the gym. Or I shower in the morning, and then I work all day, and then I go to the gym at in the afternoon. And then I come back and I just do a quick rinse, right? Because I just rinse all the sweat off of myself, and I'll wash my face with some soap maybe, and I'll scrub my pits and stuff, and that's it. So I shower twice on days that I go to the gym, and then generally not at all. And then I'll shower on the weekends as well. So putting shower every day into my schedule is not quite correct because I do not want to shower every day. Now, the reason I put it in there was because I wanted to take a cold shower every day because cold showers are really valuable. And so I have to figure out a thing there. So what I'm doing today, and I'm going to do part of it on camera and most of it off camera because I'm going to spend my whole day doing this. I am going to do this all day here, behavior, time, location, is to rebuild my habit stack and expand it out. Build out the morning habit stack to fix the things that are not quite right, and expand the habit stack out to go further on past the morning and take what happens, which is that I hit the wall of uncertainty, which is like, well, I did all the things in my habit stack, now what? And then I fall apart. And it's like, well, I might as well just go do nothing for a while. I might as well pull up that Instagram and look at my phone for a while, right? And it just, I get sucked out into chaos. But the part that I've organized is immaculate, except for the little flaws in it, which I have to go and fix. But once they're fixed, it'll get better, right? Perfect. Okay. So I've got the whole habit stacking for most of my morning down. I just need to habit stack out a bunch of different chunks. So the different chunks that I need to be able to manipulate and switch in are the chunk for workday versus non-workday, or more importantly, the chunk for gym day versus non-gym day. Because on gym day, I will go and I will shower. And then I'll come back in and I'll do a recording. And then I often have a time crunch that I have to figure out how to deal with because the gym is coming up and I have other people relying on me. And then I'll go to the gym and I'll do all the things at the gym. So I have to have a schedule of prep for getting ready for the gym on the gym day. And I'll go to the gym and do that. And then we come back and we have a schedule of set things that we do because we go and we make smoothies and we drink the smoothies and we talk together. And usually we'll go and we'll smoke some weed as well because that's part of the winding down process that we do. And we'll do that as we foam roll out and switch off doing the foam rolling and the muscle therapy in order to not feel awful and stuff. And all of those things stack up as a different habit stack than what I do on non-gym days. And on non-gym days, Tuesday, Thursday, and the weekends, I can focus more on the work stuff, right? Because I'm not having to go to the gym. So there's a separation, and I need separate habit stacks for each one. And that's crucial that I realized that. So that's part of what I'm going to build out today, is I'm going to build out, at least by watching myself and what I do over today, because today is a gym day. And I haven't had my shower yet, by the way. I'm going to go take a shower soon. By watching how the habits work today, I will determine how I want to change them and what they should be for gym days specifically. And that should be really good. And then 1.4, design your environment. Make the cues of good habits obvious and visible. Putting all my pills and stuff on a shelf that I see right when I wake up. Bingo. Putting my daylight lamp, my LED lamp that's pointed at my bed, right next to my bed so that I can touch it. Bingo. The tea stuff is right where I'm at, and so every time I sit down at the computer and I'm like, I can just go, oh right, I have to do a daily brew. I have to do a morning tea, and then I'll go and I'll do the morning tea. Oh my god, look at that. So that's pu'er. That's black tea. That's black tea. Woohoo! We're gonna get caffeinated today, baby. Black tea's not that much more highly caffeinated than green tea, but pu'er is more highly caffeinated. It is some high caffeine shit. Okay, make the habit obvious. The second law, make it attractive. Use temptation bundling. Pair an action you want to do with an action you need to do. So for example, in the morning, I need to get up and take a piss every morning. Basically need to do it. I've attached brushing my teeth, the very first brush of my teeth. So I end up brushing my teeth twice every morning, mostly. I brush my teeth rapidly when I just wake up, which is just to get the gunk out of my mouth, because your mouth tastes like shit when you wake up. So I do a quick brush, and then after I do breakfast and stuff, I'll go back and I'll brush again. But I bundled that with the thing that I need to do, with the thing that I do already, which is to take the piss, right? And what I wanted to do was to brush my teeth in the morning, early in the morning, every morning. And I bundled the two together, and it's done. It's just done. So that's really good. 2.2, join a culture where your desired behavior is the normal behavior. This is really hard because sometimes you don't have the opportunity to do this. And so sometimes what you have to do is you have to alter your culture. And so that's what I've been doing. I've been improving the lives of the people around me for my own selfish purposes. Yes. But truly, I've been talking to the people around me about, hey, when you go outside in the morning and you get sunlight after you wake up, it wakes you up. And they're all doing it. And so we all sort of do it, and we end up crossing paths and being like, oh, you're getting your sunlight? And they're like, So the culture is working, right? The thing is working. That's pretty cool. And 2.3, create a motivation ritual. Do something you enjoy immediately before a difficult habit. So I don't know about that one yet. I'll have to go back and read the chapter again because that piece is missing from me. And I'm uncertain. Okay. The third law, make it easy. Reduce friction. Decrease the number of steps between you and your good habits. Make them easy. Simple. Prime the environment. Prepare your environment to make future actions easier. That's something that I have to do more frequently. Is like, if I chose my clothes because I think there was a study on this, for choosing your clothes for the next day super changes the way that you behave in the next day, because you've prepared yourself. Prime the environment, prepare your environment to make future actions easier. There are a bunch of little things that I could do to make that happen. Yeah, there are a bunch of little things that I could do to make that happen. I have to figure that one out. 3.3, master the decisive moment. Optimize the small choices that deliver outsized impact. The little decisions that you make, will I get out of bed or stay in bed, make the hugest decision, or the hugest impact. Will I do the thing that I was supposed to or not? Will I look at Instagram in the morning or look at a book? Makes a complete difference over the rest of your day. And when you make some of those choices in the wrong direction, it precludes you from being capable of making the correct choices later because you've already shifted in a direction. Pretty good. Use the 2-minute rule. Downscale your habits until they can be done in 2 minutes or less. Except for time-bound habits, this is super effective and makes a lot of sense. Automate your habits. Invest in technology and one-time purchases that lock in future behavior. Yeah, I have to do more of that. But I suppose I have done some of that. Like, the purchase of the good tea kettle has been a specific and distinct alteration to my behaviorology. Really, really, truly. Purchase of this book and investing in it has changed my behavior completely. So there are a lot of things there. But this is the part where I got so overwhelmed by the power of the first chapters that I missed some of the things in the later chapters. So I have to go and I have to reread the whole book. The fourth law, make it satisfying. Use reinforcement. Give yourself an immediate reward when you complete your habit. Hey, man, I recorded a morning brew today. Good job. Good job, me. I made my tea, too. and I got up and I did my whole morning routine, and that's pretty good. So those are pretty good. In addition, make doing nothing enjoyable. When avoiding a bad habit, design a way to see the benefits of avoiding it. I have to check that. Use a habit tracker. Keep track of your habit streak and don't break the chain. So the chain for daily brews is just the upload every day, and I've broken the chain. And once you break the chain, everything else starts to fall apart. I did download a habit tracker, but I don't have the habit of using the habit tracker. So either I have to create the habit of using the habit tracker, or I have to find a better habit tracker that I actually want to use. I'm uncertain. And never miss twice. When you forget to do a habit, make sure you get back on track immediately. Okay. Yeah. So I suppose I recorded the daily brews, but I missed uploading them, and that's missing twice. And that's not okay. It's not okay. There are probably plenty of other places where I'm doing so, but that's a good place to think. And then how to break a bad habit. These are inversions of the laws. Make it invisible. Reduce exposure. Remove the cues of your bad habits from your environment. Get rid of them. When I wanted to quit nicotine, I took all my nicotine stuff. First, I poured out all of the vape juice so I wouldn't be able to get it at all. Then I took all the vape stuff and I put it as far away from me as I possibly could. Make it way, way harder to get to it and makes it way less triggering all the time. So delete Instagram. Delete the things that on your phone that are bad habits. One of my friends can't help but play mobile games all the time, and it just sucks his life away, and he's defensive about it all, obviously. But if he were to just delete them, his life would improve. Just make it invisible. Remove it from you. Make it unattractive. Reframe your mindset and highlight the benefits of avoiding your bad habits. I do like that, highlighting the benefits of avoiding your bad habits. It is important to have the fear there too. Because pure like positive motivation doesn't do as strongly as fear plus positive motivation. Inversion of the third law, make it difficult. Increase friction. Increase the number of steps between you and your bad habits. Literally put them further away from you. Make sure that you have, if liquor is your problem, there's a huge difference between putting your liquor on a shelf and putting it in a cabinet. Because you have to open the cabinet. That's it. Even if it's a glass cabinet, it's a huge difference. Now, let alone if you put a lock on the cabinet. Then you have to go and get the key and put the key into the lock and open the cabinet and then pull out the liquor bottle and decide what to take and open it and pour it out and then drink it, right? And that's like 10 more steps. It's more like 5. It's like 5 more steps in between you and your impulse to drink and the actual drinks that you can drink. And during any of those 5 impulses, you might have the opportunity to go, wait, what am I doing? Whereas if it was just right there, you would just reach out, grab the bottle, pour it, drink it, right? It's just done. It's over. You can't stop yourself because it's too close. Really good, really good. Use a commitment device. Restrict your future choices to the ones that benefit you. I have to go and reread that. An inversion of the fourth law, make it unsatisfying. Get an accountability partner and ask someone to watch your behavior. Not just unsatisfying, but actively detrimental and makes you feel like you're a liar. It's really good. That's why I made it as a promise in my Discord. I promise this to you, my people, so that if I lie about it or if I break that promise, now I'm breaking a promise and I'm breaking my word. That's something that matters to me. So there's another layer, is that your word needs to matter to you, and it probably doesn't. I think a lot of people's word doesn't matter to them. They lie so constantly to themselves and to others that truth is irrelevant. Speaking the way things are is irrelevant to them. And that's not a good place to be. Because then you're going to tell yourself, well, I'm going to quit smoking. And why would you believe that? Why would you believe that? You lie about everything else. So why wouldn't that be a lie too? Well, it turns out that it is a lie. And then that just reinforces the behavior that is, well, you promised that you would quit smoking, and that was a lie. So good luck ever trying to quit anything ever again or do anything good for yourself ever again. Because all you're doing is reinforcing the pattern of saying that you'll do the thing and then not doing the thing. What you need to do is to reinforce the pattern of say you'll do the thing and then do the thing. I will get up at 9 a.m. in the morning and then do it. I will eat high protein, high fat, low carbohydrate, or high vegetable meals instead of candy, and then do it. And reinforce within yourself the deep truth that is that you are capable of following up on your promises if you're only willing to experience the pain that's inherent in doing the things that are right. And it's less pain than is inherent in doing the things that are wrong. But that doesn't really matter to us. We don't really calculate it that way because it's initial pain versus long-term pain. And we're really averse to initial pain. We'll take long-term pain all the time, man. A number of people I know who do not exercise and are just like, yeah, I guess my body will fall apart as I move along. And I'm just going to be in agony for the rest of my life. And the number of people that I know who have, well, I've got an older roommate who's in his late 60s who has 2 hernias and multiple hip problems and can barely walk and is fucked. And my neighbor is in her late 60s and she's got a major hip replacement and she walks now, but she always talks about how much she wished she had spent more time walking when she was younger so that she wasn't in this circumstance. And then I've got a neighbor across the street who we don't like very much because she's a problem. And she complains continuously about how miserable and painful she is and does absolutely nothing to prevent it or stop it. And she's in her like mid 40s, early 50s, somewhere in there. And she's in more pain than my neighbor who walks every day. Ugh. We're so averse to initial pain. It's like, oh, but going for a walk is so hard. It hurts so much. It's like, yeah, how about years of agony? How about years of agony? Hour at the gym, entire lifetime of agony. Which one do you choose? Because your body's going to fall apart. I choose a few hours every week at the gym. Literally, 3 hours is about what I spend at the gym, specifically, working out. That's what I spend. And I'm doing great. I'm shredded beyond belief at the moment. I'm strong as hell. I can do. I don't know. I wonder if I could do a 1-arm pull-up. I should try and figure that out if I can. Probably not. My upper body strength isn't there, but I can do one-legged squats all day. Not all day, but I can do like 5 per leg without much of a sweat. My balance is incredible. My overall muscular development is stellar. I'm filling out. Looking more like a man. Feeling more like one too. More confident, more capable. Less pain. No pain. Just capacity. The ability to do things. The ability to move. The ability to dance. And to do so in more interesting and more effective ways. And it all ripples out from there, really. I talked to my friend and I went to the gym and we worked out inside instead of outside on Wednesday. And outside is far less crowded, but it was cold, so we went inside. Talked to four women at the gym, all of whom I would say I found attractive. I wasn't attempting to do a thing there, right? I was just trying to talk to them. And most of them started as like somebody walked in. There's a room with 3 squat racks with like a wood floor. It used to be a racquetball court, and they converted it to a lifting room, which is super great. They got three squat racks, and my friend and I are working on one of them, and a girl walks in. I just wave at her, and the look on her face was like shock, because everybody goes blinders on in the gym. Everybody goes blinders on. But anyway, she goes and I just wave. She sort of like waves back. I think she thought like, oh, does this guy think that he knows me or something like that? But I wasn't trying to do anything. I just went back to lifting. And so it was fine. She set up and she started deadlifting. And immediately I noticed she's got great form. And so she lifts a plate and I go like, wow. And she takes her headphones. She's like, yeah, wow. And it's like, wow, you have good deadlift form. I see lots of people deadlift and you've got some of the better form. She's like, oh my God, wow, you really mean it? Wow, that's so great to hear, you know? And she works up to her weight, which is like 205 or something. And then she approaches me and goes, hey, so I've been stuck at this weight for like 2 months. Do you think I should put 5 more pounds on here and go for it? Or am I going to hurt myself? And I'm like, go for it, dude. Do it. I'll wait around and I'll cheer you on. Let's go. And I did, and she got the lift because she'd been stuck at the same weight for 2 months and was obviously far stronger than she thought she was. And I was like, yeah, wow, amazing. And my friend was cheering too, and we're all cheering her on and stuff. And she's like, oh my God, this is the best. I wouldn't have done it if you weren't here. We introduced ourselves, and that's it. I got a friend at the gym that wasn't a friend before. That would have been like an awkward glance away, walk away sort of thing. Like, now it's not that. So cool. But I talked to 4 or 5 women who I found really attractive. Some of them, at least. One of them really stands out to me because I've seen her at the gym a number of times, and we've made eye contact a few times, and she's very blinders on, very, very proper, very straight back, very walk around and do the thing and avoid everybody because, well, she's a gorgeous young woman in a gym, and she's doing the thing that they do in gyms. But I was stretching out, doing a particular stretch, so like the one where your leg is up in front and the other one is back. It's like almost a split, and I was stretching it out. I was really trying to get into my hip. And she comes over and is like just a few feet away, and she fully doesn't notice that I'm there doing this. She's a few feet away, perpendicular to me, and she just drops into the same stretch with complete ease, like totally all the way down to the floor, complete ease. And I'm just like, this bullshit. Fuck you. So I went up and I waved at her, and I waved her headphones off, and she took her headphones out, and I was like, hey, I just started doing that kind of stretch. I just wanted to say, you made me look like a fool because you walked in and are just capable of doing it all the way. And she lit up. I've never seen this girl smile. She's always RBF, always resting bitch face in a sense. And that might be just the way that her face is built, but I feel like it's the way that she gets approached at the gym very frequently. And she blossomed into one of the most beautiful smiles that I've ever seen. And her whole face, already I found her I thought she was attractive, but she lit up into like truly stunningly beautiful. And just a quick back and forth, and she's like, oh, it's a great stretch. I love it so much. I've been doing this for forever. Don't feel bad about it. It's like, okay, thanks so much, and I'll be on my way, and off I go. Amazing. And there's now a connection there, just a little bit. And those are the 4 or 5 are just the women that I talked to. The men, gosh, there was the guy who was doing shitty pull-ups. He was doing really shitty, like, like can't do 3 pull-ups, is trying really hard to do 3 pull-ups, might be able to do 1 good pull-up, is just smashing pull-ups and doesn't get it. So I went over to him, I waved off his headphones, I was like, hey man, have you ever done pull-ups with a band? Like a novel idea, wow. He's like, what? No, I've never done anything like that. So I went and I got the resistance bands that I take with me, and I was like, here, you just put this up here. And immediately as I started to describe it to him, he was like, so it works off of resistance? I could tell immediately, I was like, oh, this guy's not actually that bright. But that doesn't matter because he's going to learn the thing, and he can learn this thing, and he'll be brighter, and that'll be really cool. So I go and I flip the thing up, and I put it up on top of the thing, and I'm like, just get up and get ready to do a pull-up, and then put your knee in this, and then try to do a pull-up. He does it, and he does 1, he looks over to me, he's like, oh, and he does like 5 more with the moderate form, but the band gives him enough power to be able to pull through the repetitions on the motion. He's like, oh my god, that's the best. Where do I get these? Well, how do I? Magic, right? Just by reaching outside of yourself, magic. Anyway, I don't know how I got there. but because my habits to some extent are working, because my physicality is becoming more in line, and because I'm feeling more correct, and it all comes down to the small habits of how much time you spend in taking pain, willingly stepping into pain that you know is going to be painful, because you can do that in a way that prevents long-term pain overall. And so the socialization is another thing, and it's the same thing. It's the same process, and here's why. It is painful to go up to another human being and address them. And when I say pain, I mean the generalization of pain. Fear is pain. Anxiety is pain. They're suffering. They're uncomfortable emotions. Discomfort might be a better word, but pain is more broad, and it fits better for me, I think. Pain and suffering. It's how the Buddhists idealize it, and I think they're correct in doing so. That moment of going up and making the decision to go up to somebody and talk to them, especially a woman. For young men, especially a woman. Especially an attractive one. Because it matters to you whether she rejects you. And you can deny that all you want to, but being rejected by the feminine is extraordinarily painful. Even the possibility of maybe being rejected by the feminine prevents many young men from ever approaching the feminine. Interesting. But you got another option, and that option is the endless, agonizing, inevitable, deadly, spiraling pain of endless loneliness. That's your alternative. Because you can't rely on other people to form connections with you. You have to be the one who forms connections with other people. If you are the one who forms connections with other people, you will have connections with other people. If you are not someone who forms connections with other people, you will not have connections with other people, and you will die alone, slowly, painfully, alone. Choose your pain. The pain of walking up to someone with a smile and going, "Hi, wow, I love what you're doing. Your shoes are really cool." Something stupid. "What book are you reading? You read any good books lately?" Just be willing to be a fool for 30 seconds. Acute pain for 30 seconds could mean the difference between misery forever and a life that you're actually willing to lead. A life worth living. It could really mean the difference. And in fact, it's just the one time that you choose it that it is the difference. It's just the first time. Because the first time you try is the time you break through the barrier, and you'll discover a couple things. First off, if you do it properly, the chances you will be rejected are nil. And so that means not approaching that woman with the intent to fuck her. Really serious about that one. They can smell it. They can tell your ulterior motives. And that's okay. They know. When you go up to a girl and you're like, "I really like your shoes," she knows that you don't really like her shoes. She knows that you're there making an excuse to talk to her. So come up with a good excuse at least, and one that's interesting. I try to make it one about behavior. And I try to make it from a place of admiration, usually. That's what I do. I'm experimenting with this. Because again, I've got all these worms in my head from pickup artists when I was quite young. Because I'm a little bit ASD, I'm a little bit neurodivergent, and so reading people, and I didn't have the innate knowledge of how to deal with women or other men or anybody, and so I looked to the people who purport themselves as being capable of that, which are the pickup artist community. And that's a bad idea, because there's a lot of bad stuff in there, and a lot of good stuff. One of the things that most pickup artist teachers, who are of any validity, will tell all of their guys is, it's a numbers game, go and ask a bunch. Go and hit on a bunch of girls. Just everybody. Hot girls, fat girls, ugly girls, girls you like, girls you don't like, girls you would never talk to in a million years. Go and talk to a bajillion of them. And talk to their guy friends too. And talk to the friends of the girl that you actually want to hook up with. And ignore the girl that you actually want to hook up with sometimes. And then it gets into the manipulation stuff. The negging and the narcissism and the fuckery. But that core part, go out and talk to them. Right on the money. But my own reverse PUA that I'm building, it's something like instead of having this ulterior motive, this end game of picking up the chick, it's just forming connections. It's just socializing like a healthy human. That's what I want. I want people to socialize like healthy humans. It's something like observe all the people around you. When you find somebody who's interesting, try to determine that something that's interesting about them that they weren't born with. Try to determine something interesting about them that they weren't born with. So not their body shape, not their face, not their smile, not the way they look, not the way that they anything, the way they act, or some evidence of the way that they act. For example, and I always use the gym as an example because it's my main social outlet, okay? For example, when I see a girl who's working really hard, the first thing that pops into my mind is to go over to her and be like, "Wow, you're working really hard." Because, I'll put it this way. You've worked hard. How does it feel? Well, it feels pretty good. But you're also kind of, when you're working hard and you're in a public space, you're kind of looking around going, "Gosh, I hope that somebody notices that I'm putting in all this work. Gosh, I hope that somebody notices how cool I am." And what happens is when you walk up to somebody and you're like, "You're doing really cool. You're doing really cool stuff and working really hard." They go, "Oh my God, thank you. Wow, yes, thank you so much. Somebody noticed how much effort that I'm actually putting in, because I am." And really, it's like, wow, nobody ever lets me know how good I'm doing. All these guys just come up and tell me how big my ass is. It's like, well, yeah, girl, you got a big ass. And then they'll laugh it off because you've broached the subject in a different way. It's like I forgot to mention that, but the girl who I was talking to who was deadlifting, she was like, "Oh, I love deadlifts. Deadlifts are my favorite." And I slapped my ass. I was like, "Mine too." And I can tell. And she was like, "Ha ha ha ha." And it was just done, right? It was just, I wasn't even flirting. It was just, she had a big butt because she deadlifts. And we were both like, "Oh, we can connect as human beings instead of being fucking awkward all the time." What a big sigh of relief. What a big sigh of relief. Gosh, one of the most stressful circumstances in the entire world is to be in that situation where you and another person who have never met have some degree of chemistry and you're not sure what it is, but like you glance at them and they glance away, and then you catch them glancing at you, and then they glance away, and it's like, okay, there's something happening, but I don't know what the fuck it is. All of your autonomic systems, all of your fucking stress systems are online, baby, online. And you know what makes them all go away? Hi, I noticed that you were blank, 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 and I think that's really cool. My name is blank. What's your name? Gone. And then walk away, and you're done. And you're done. The thing is over, because you're no longer in awkward land of not knowing whether each other are going to murder each other. Why are they glancing at me? Why are they glancing at me? Why does this person keep looking at me? Do they hate me? Do they think I suck? Are they an asshole? Are they gonna follow me out of the gym? Like all these things, tick, 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 tick. It's like when you're walking in a dark parking lot. Men experience this constantly. I know that you do, especially taller or bigger men, especially people of color. I've had black friends talk about this a lot. Even I do, and I'm tiny. I'm tiny and unintimidating as hell. I'm a cute, boyish-looking 5'5" white guy, like no threat to most people. But you walk anywhere near behind a woman in a dark parking lot, it's fucking bad juju, because she doesn't know if you're gonna murder her. And she has a part of her brain that goes, might murder me. Even if you're the one who's walking and there's just a big dude walking behind you, 15 feet behind you, you're like, I wonder if that guy's following me. Yikes. And that happens all throughout social interaction. So break that tension and reveal that you're actually a human being and people will treat you like one, or something like that. All right, this has spiraled out. Get an accountability partner, ask somebody to watch your behavior, and create a habit contract. Make the costs of your bad habits public and painful. So that's the other thing about making the public promise in my Discord is like, well, I have to follow through with that to public promise. It's part of the reason that I think I tried to dissolve my schedule into something more dissolute, and that's not going to do it. The schedule has to be specific and clear, and it has to be correct, and it has to be in a way that people will judge me when I miss things that are on the schedule. So people are like, where the fuck is Gundam? It's Thursday, where's the Gundam? And I could be like, yep, I fucked up. That's important. It hurts, it sucks, I don't like it, but it is important. Okay, so that's going through the primary outline of Atomic Habits, and that just gives you the book, basically. Because that's all that's in here. It's got extraordinary explanations of how those work and examples and storytelling that make it align more properly and click into place. But that's basically the book. So with that in mind, my plan for today is I'm going to spend some time just reading. Because just reading puts my mind into a better place of being. The first thing that I'm actually going to do is I'm going to edit this brew, and I'm going to put it up. And then it'll be up. And then that will be done, and I won't have to think about it. There's no chance that I'm going to record a new episode of Cyberpunk Edgerunners today. I've got too many other things to do. And more importantly, if I just barrel forward on recording the things, I'm not going to fix the processes by which I record the things. Okay? Okay. I'm going to clean up some of my room, because the externalized chaos that's around me it becomes internalized chaos as well. And part of that is setting up my space in order to be attuned to the habits that I want to achieve. I'm going to move toward going to the gym in the afternoon, but I've got a few hours before I get there, so I'll get a lot done before that. I'm going to drink my tea. I'm going to read the book. I'm going to stack out my gym day stack, my gym day habit stack, and I'm going to try to stack it all the way to bedtime. And then overall, for today and for in general, I'm going to try to make my bedtime 10 p.m., because my bedtime has been 11 p.m. for a while, and then it's in the last few days because I stayed up until 5 a.m. one day because I was drawing. Drew. during this thing, right? And other things like it. I stayed up until 5, and that was unacceptable. And I was up until a little bit past midnight last night, editing the comment spotlight for Cyberpunk, which I only got to now, right? So crazy. That's not acceptable. When I was going to bed at like 9:30, I was awake all day, every day, and it was great. And then I slipped, and the whole thing went. So I'm going back to bed early. And if that means just laying in bed for 2 hours, just like I'm not asleep, then I'll deal with it, because I need to be in bed early. And I need to wake up at similar times on all days. Weekends don't exist. Weekends are just days. I need to wake up at the same time on all those days, which is right around 9. If I can get it earlier by going to sleep earlier, I'll switch it to earlier. But I'm still going to go with no alarms. Just going to get the sleep that I need. I woke up today at like 7, and then I went back to sleep. So that's an immediate indicator that something's wrong, because I fell back asleep. And it's partly because it's cold in the morning now, and being cold in the morning hurts, and it makes it harder to get out of bed. So I need a process for that. I need like a set of clothing that I can immediately slip into that's warm, and then I can get up and get my stuff going. Or I need a way of forcing myself to jump out of bed and doing something or something like that in order to deal with the cold. I don't know. But I'm going to try to fix my sleep cycle. I'm going to lay out at least half of my days, my gym days, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, important days. I'm going to read a bit. I'm going to edit this video. And that's it. Those are the check marks for my day. So I'm gonna physically write them down with physical pen and paper, not typing. Physical pen and paper seems to make a difference for me. So those things are, first things first, edit, morning. I keep going back to daily brew. So edit brew. I'm just gonna call it the brew. It slips out of my mind more effectively. Calling it morning tea doesn't work. Edit the brew. 2. Clean up. 3. Eat well, because I do have the gym. 4. Habit stack MWF. 5. Sleep early. And that's it. That's it. If I missed any, then that's fine, but those are my 5 things for the day. I'm going to edit this daily brew. I'm going to clean up my room, which I can do while it's rendering to some extent. I'm going to eat a good meal, because I need food in me for the gym. That's going to be happening later. I'm going to work on stacking out my habits for Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and writing out the whole stack of what they do. And then I'm going to go to sleep early. And that's my plan for today. And by doing this today, the hope and the belief and the desire and the goal is to improve the baseline of my cognition and function and wakefulness and ability into the future forever. So by taking and sacrificing one bit of time to focus on the problems that I have right now, today, I should be able to reduce my total suffering in the future forever. And it'll be a learning process, and I'll mess it up, but we'll get closer. And that's what matters. So I'll end this daily brew now, and I'll see you tomorrow for another daily brew for Saturday. Sorry for missing a couple. We're going to be getting back to them. Peace. And I mean it.